There's an all-new Venom in town, and everyone wants to know who the new host is. Welcome to the Comicstorian Complete Story Series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then we read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. If you enjoy these stories, be sure to support the industry and go check them out at your local comic shop. Today, we continue to try and figure out who exactly is the new Venom in All New Venom issue number 2 by Ewing. I hope you enjoy. New York City, Times Square. The crowd steps back in fear. Some pull out phones to record the action. Venom readies himself, his tongue writhing back and forth. Okay, there are 4 possibilities here. We could beat you into paste, or you could beat us, says the leader of the Death Throes, the oldest surviving organized crime gang. He motions to their potential recruits that are on their auditions, pointing out that they outnumber the symbiote hero. 3, you could just walk away, the leader says. Venom smiles. Why would we do that? He asks. The criminal motions to the gathered crowd that are looking to Venom with fear. Look around. Sure, we just robbed a bunch of tourist joints, but nobody is scared of us, are they? He says. They don't have to be afraid. We've changed, Venom says softly, looking at the crowds. The criminal leader nods but holds out a bag of money. Sure, but you throw a mean web and we could really use a celebrity hire, he says, suggesting Venom joins them. But the other Death Throes have had enough, and they charge at Venom. The pirate-themed villain Heave-Ho tossing exploding cannonballs at him that Venom easily dodges. Wait, are those real cannonballs? He asks as he slips past the explosions. Chuck Stuff and the Tosser rush forward, throwing bricks and cheesesteaks. Venom just seems confused, knocking the strange weapons out of the way. If this is who's auditioning, maybe the Death Throes do need a star of our caliber. 'Cause we don't just throw webs, we throw hands, Venom shouts. Symbiote fists lash out from his chest, flying out and knocking the villains away. The rest of the Death Throes toss potential bombs into the crowd, who finally start to run in fear and make their escape. Venom rushes to stop them, but suddenly grabs his head. No! Find the bomb first, Venom says. He starts talking to his host, the mysterious person bonded with the symbiote. Gunpowder, know anything about that? Tell me you picked up some science hanging out with, Venom begins to say. But they already share the knowledge. They know that gunpowder is mostly saltpeter, which is also used in curing meats, and has a particular taste. Venom opens wide and his tongue lashes out, grabbing a hold of the bomb that tastes right and swallowing it. Suddenly, the bomb explodes in his mouth and inflates his head like a cartoon. Pardon me, Venom quips as he burps and lets the smoke out. He turns away from the fleeing crowd, but stops as he finds himself face to face with a Scar Squad. Nobody's getting pardoned, Venom. Least of all you, the squad leader snaps as she lashes out with an energy whip. Light the symbiote up! Heater! Slice! Flank him from the sides and pin him down! Ripcord shouts to her team. Venom moves fast, dodging attacks as the Scar troopers move in and strike. Modified guardsman armor? What are you, a new jury? Venom demands as he flips over another strike. The one known as Ripcord closes in. We're agents of the federal government, tasked with symbiote containment and relocation. Heater moves in from the side and lets out a blast from her flamethrower gauntlet, while Slice moves in and tries to cut Venom in half. Ripcord stands ready to finish the fight. Tell me, under there, do you honestly think you're a hero? Even if that thing doesn't destroy your life right away, do you really think you can replace Eddie Brock? Do you think you're any more to this space Dracula than its next meal? She asks. There's a brief moment where Venom pauses. You're right. It's not like with Eddie. It can't be. We're not family. We're not even friends. But we're stuck together. And we're together enough to do this, Venom hisses. Ripcord lashes out with her whip, but Venom catches it easily. He smiles as Ripcord curses. Nice strategy! Get us talking and then catch us napping. Well, it's nap time, and here's your lullaby, Venom says as he pulls Ripcord in and swings her around, smacking her into the other Scar troopers. Finally free, Venom leaps into the air. Sorry, folks! We're late for a meeting, he calls as he swings away. Ripcord struggles to her feet. Meeting? What meeting? She demands. Shortly, across town at the Daily Bugle, Robbie Robertson walks through the door of his office to find Luke Cage and Rick Jones waiting for him. Sorry I'm late. You wouldn't believe how busy a newspaper can get, he says. Luke cocks an eyebrow at him. You're talking to the mayor of New York, Robbie. I only just got here myself, Luke says. Rick nods and smiles. And I also have no alibi for the last half hour, Rick tells them. Robbie nods as he closes the door, pointing out that they all believe at least one of them is the new Venom. Luke nods. Maybe one of us, but let's not forget Madame Mask is also a suspect. Because if she's Venom, we're going to regret wasting time on each other, he says with a sigh. Rick smiles and looks over his sunglasses. Is that why you called out the Cape Killers? He asks. Luke shrugs, pointing out that the Scar team is federal, but he didn't fight them working in the city. Luke leans forward though, pointing out that Rick is being a little too relaxed about all this. Because I know it's not me, he says with a shrug. Luke sits back down. It better not be any of us, but I'm here to clean my name off this thing, he says. Robbie nods and sits, pointing out that their first step needs to be proving who this new Venom actually is. Step 1 is tracking Madame Mask down, Robbie says, explaining that they need to prove that she is or isn't Venom. He looks at the other heroes. I would suggest we hurry, because we will not be the only ones on this hunt, he says. Later that evening, Dylan Brock is sitting at the dinner table of MJ Watson and Paul Rabin. He doesn't look up from his phone as he continues to eat. No phone at the table, please, Dylan, Paul says. Cram it, weirdo, Dylan says without looking up. Paul starts to get mad, but MJ asks to speak with him in the kitchen. Yeah, Paul. Go make some more vegan crap that sucks, Dylan calls as Paul and MJ exit the room. In the kitchen, Paul immediately begins to complain about Dylan, pointing out how rude he is all the time. Paul, he was bonded to a violent alien for months. He was homeless. He stabbed his own father on live TV. I'm sorry the traumatized child insulted your cooking, MJ tells him calmly, but Paul whirls on her. Oh, of course! Trauma! The magic word that means he can do whatever he wants! He snaps. Meanwhile, Dylan is working on his phone. Yeah, break up already! He whispers as he continues to track Madame Mask, hoping to find his lost symbiote. He finally finds what he's looking for. Finally, he calls MJ and Paul back into the dining room. Hey Paul, I was wondering, how stupid do you have to be to get fooled by a pair of imaginary kids? Dylan asks with an evil smile. His plan works, and Paul sends him to his room. Quickly, he packs a backpack and heads out the window and into the city. A short time later, Paul knocks on his door with a bowl of ice cream in hand. Dylan, I got ice cream, okay? But I'd like the two of us to have a discussion about hurtful words. Paul calls before opening the door, but he stares at the open window in dismay. Oh, come on! He shouts in frustration. A short time later, Dylan is sneaking around outside an abandoned warehouse. Inside, he finds a group of AIM troopers, gathering gear and preparing alongside the villain known as Chance. Don't think this is a team-up! I'm not working with AIM because I want to be! Chance tells Dr. Fortissimo, reminding them that everyone is after Madame Mask. Chance looks around, not even sure why they are staking out an abandoned warehouse that Mask's father once owned. The odds of Madame Mask being dumb enough to use this location are 0. So I hope you brought a deck of cards, or we're in for a boring night, Chance says. But suddenly, the wall explodes inward, and Venom walks through the smoke into the warehouse. Good news, Chance! Your night just got a lot less boring, Venom says with a grin. Chance smiles at him and raises the aim-made weapons. Well, the all-new Venom! I wonder, is that Madame Mask under there? Chance asks with a smile as he fires a round that explodes through Venom's head, creating a massive hole. Dylan winces as he watches through the window. Oof, so it's not Luke Cage, he whispers. And so the mystery of who the host to the all-new Venom remains, but it's looking much less likely that it's the bulletproof Luke Cage. Who do you think it might be now? I personally have a crazy theory that all of this is a misdirect and it's actually Robbie Robertson's son. But I'd love to know your crazy theories in the comments below. And of course, like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to get more. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.